Hello and welcome to the Smite Draft League. We've got week 2 challenger action. We got City Boys and Volcanic Lightning. I'm Anthony and I've got Zexagon with me. How are you doing today?
I am doing fantastic, Anthony. Ready to see some more quality Smite brought forth by these two teams, and I'm really interested to see what they have in store for us today.
I am too. So, we've got our first couple bands out. We see a emphasis on mid from the order side and a bit of a mix from chaos. What are you looking to see from bands and the early picks in this game?
So what we've already seen so far is it seems that Volcanic Lightning off the order side is already prioritizing getting those mid laners out right off the gate. Yu Huang and the Baba Yaga, two very strong mid laners, creating lots of pressure early and even towards the late game. And they're really just, it seems that they know what they're up against and they're trying to eliminate the strongest role.
I think it's a good call. We do see a Lancelot be the first pick. So are we thinking because we've seen everything so far this year from the SDL. We've seen it ADC, we've seen it jungle, we've seen it solo. Where are you looking for that Lancelot to go?
Typically, it's I've seen it have a lot more success in the solo lane versus the jungle, but jungle also has the chance for it to pop off as well. I think really being able to abuse the soul eater as well as Lancelot does will really make or break what he can do in these team fights.
We do see the Cacolan get locked in, so I do think that will make your point ring true. On the other side, we have a Yamoja, but more interestingly for me, they've got a Thor out, and with the recent buffs, I am so excited.
Yeah, right off the get go from those buffs, Thor has seen a massive resurgence, pretty much being top pick, top ban right off the gate from these buffs that Thor has received. Lots of prioritization coming for these teams around this god.
We see the Rama come out. Now, that's one of my favorite ADCs to see get picked up. The impact late game from a Rama is borderline unmatched in the right hands. The damage that can come out is crazy, and it can not only turn a team fight, but it can almost just single handedly win a game.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there, and it really doesn't do too bad in lane either. Has some really nice boxing potential with the cripple off his dash, that astral barrage ultimate, really being able to keep the gap close if it looks like the enemy is getting away. So lots of optimization in this god for what he can do from short to long range.
We do see that an Apollo and a Hou Yi ban came out as the ADC has not been picked yet. So, do you think that they're trying to maybe target ban, or are they trying to really set up their Rama for success? Because Hou Yi and Apollo both can really box well with the Rama and kind of keep up, although Cupid is open.
Definitely. I think it's a little bit of both. I think it might be their ADC maybe not feeling super confident into that kind of matchup, but also they do play very well into the ROM regardless. Um, right now we're seeing a Sylvanas locked in, so I assume that can only go to solo with this emoji already locked. But I really think that the bans are more so what their ADC doesn't want to deal with, let alone what they think they can play.
I agree, and I suppose with the Apollo ban and how little we've seen of him in the SDL, I actually haven't seen him myself in a game I've casted, then we can definitely chalk it up to being a comfort ban. I'm excited to see the Sylvanas solo. That has been very effective all around, be it leagues, ranked, casuals, duel. It really has been, it's shown up strong so far this season. Oh, the Chernobog and Discordia, I like that combo too.
Yeah, definitely. The global pressure being able to match the Thor if need be, if they really need a quick rotation coming, that Trinibog will be able to kind of get it done and be able to match those Thor rotations, even applying, the slow to all enemies even after that. I think it's if he's able to utilize the ultimate well in that living nightmare, I think he can really do some damage on this Trinibog.
And we'll be keeping an eye out for that. And with that, we're going to leave you here, but we're going to meet you in the game for game number 1 of this set. The name of the game in picks and bans was Damage, Damage, and More Damage. I'm Anthony. He's Hexagon. Let's do it.
Let's get right into it, into the swing of things. Right off the get go, everyone's already starting up. Taking a look at the builds here, we're seeing a couple of mannequin scepters on the side of City Boys here. One for the Optic Blaster on the Sylvanas, and the other one for the Thor on the Virtually.
Yeah, the Thor with mannequins is not awful, but it's interesting to me. I definitely think it can play well, but not my favorite choice personally.
Definitely, and right off from what we can see from BudweiserCranker here, going into what looks to be that early anti-heal, that pestilence tree coming off right off there to deal with that Sylvanas.
We do see a good bit of pressure coming out. King of Darkness got very low very quickly and had to take a few steps back for his own safety. So wave pressure goes the way of the dual lane from City Boys. A bit surprising given the matchup. I mean, Yamoja's great, Rom's great, but Chernobog can do quite a bit of work on waves. And with that Ganesh backing him up, I'm surprised it was such a commanding start by the City Boys duo.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm really interested that they're so low back on the pressure. Something that I'm interested, Remarkable Wolf on this ROM started Eye of the Jungle on Rama here.
Yeah, it takes me back to when everybody built Bumba's mask in like season 4. It was effective then. I don't know how I feel about it now. We'll have to see how that plays late. Not sure I'm the biggest fan of it, but I'm trying to wrap my brain around a potential reason. I can't quite find one. Virtually is getting pressured out quick, has to use that hammer to teleport away. He's going to be safe for now, as Eset had some good defense there prepared for him. But yeah, that Eye of the Jungle has thrown a wrench in my mental game plan.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what the sole purpose of it is for. I guess if he's doing his purple a lot, it's gonna be, warded without having to drop his own stuff on it. But that's the only reason I can really think of behind this pickup for this round.
Yeah, it doesn't, as we were talking about the Bumbas from back in the olden days, it doesn't have the same kind of sustain. So even going it combined with the dev start that he's going, I don't think he's going to benefit that much from it. But it's definitely something to look for. Uh, And everything else, at least, looks pretty normal. I'd like to see the Sylvanas. If you're going to go damage this early against that Cucullin, you've got to make it worth it somehow. Right now, he's doing it. There's a lot of pressure coming out in that solo lane, but he's just got to play it perfect early on.
Yeah, and then like once I point out before, like once this Colin really gets some anti-heal online, already having it in his kit, but the extra help from Pestilence will definitely help him further on.
Mhm.
Once he gets this, that Silva's gonna have a harder time bullying him because this Colin will be able to step up and not have to worry too much about the extra sustain coming off of the Optic Blaster.
Yeah, I think you make a really good point, especially because if a Sylvanas falls behind and you're going that damage route, you're borderline useless. So it's something an optic blaster needs to be aware of, and it's something that Volcanic Lightning may need to play around if they want to really keep that Sylvanas from becoming a problem. A gank coming out into mid lane, the Apple of Discord's on, and Perspective Duck is going to get the first blood for Volcanic Lightning, but up into the sky goes Virtually looking for some revenge. Does he land it? Yes, he does, and the combo is executed perfectly. Kill for kill in the mid lane.
Yeah, just excellent execution coming right off that from Virtually. Really able to find CubeDaFace just kind of lacking.
With a big gank here in duo, Perspective Duck is not done fighting. He wants even more revenge for that mid lane gank, but Remarkable Wolf gets the kill on the King of Darkness, maybe wrecking those plans. He's boxed out Air Forces in the back, and Perspective Duck got stuck with two members. Rama into the sky, looking for the ultimate. One shot lands, two shot misses, third shot good, but that second shot was huge. Yamoja got BlackAirForcess pushed back in, but Remarkable Wolf could not get the kill and got quite low himself. He had to get out of there. So BlackAirForcess had a dangerous time under that tower, but ultimately gets away.
Ultimate does get away, but does have that ultimate. If he wants to re-engage quickly, he can, but doesn't look like he's gonna opt for it. Looking like he's just gonna take the slow way back to lane. As yeah, the big difference here though, Remarkable Wolf is able to get that Devos finished before Black Air Fortress. So gonna be a little bit ahead in the stacking game.
Yeah, and with that early kill advantage not being basically being non-existent, I'm really looking to see how everybody can respond from it because it's always awkward when you have a gank go your way, but it instantly kind of just gets reverted, and then you find yourself hung out in the dual lane, and now your jungler has put your enemy ADC ahead of you. It's always frustrating. So how are you looking for them to kind of come back from that?
I think they just gotta try and keep playing their game. I think they gotta really try and confirm their own buffs, maybe try and pave the way for more invades, come down the road, and then just kind of wait for their opportunity. Right now, towards the duo side, Rom's a little bit ahead right now in the stacking game. But Trinidad has pretty good defense against Rom and is able to deal with the pressure.
Virtually fell very fast over on the solo side jungle and had to ult out of there. He does have backup though, and he's going to come back down, but nobody's home. Perspective Duck used the ultimate before it mattered, and virtually still hanging around. Gonna go in though, try to get the kill. It's no good. Perspective Duck gets his own. The emoji portal is not enough, and Chernabog all of a sudden makes an appearance, or yes, he does. Excuse me. It was hard to tell. No, he doesn't. I had a weird thing on my map for a second, but yeah, weird fight in solo overall. But it all kind of worked out. I wish we could have seen more kills go the way of City Boys there.
Yeah, the one thing that I felt kind of was interesting about that fight is virtually going back in, trying to make something happen, trying to get the pick off of Perspective Duck, but I think he just was too low to even make that kind of commitment to where Perspective Duck just kind of looked at him and dropped him the second he went back in.
Yeah, and we do see the Sylvanas getting boxed out, but he gets a great pull under tower. The ultimate follows up. Not quite enough damage to get the kill, but Budweiser kind of caught sleeping there for a second.
Yeah, definitely the pull was super nice by the Optic Blaster. Maybe he was just missing one tower shot to be able to really seal the deal there, but does get to finish off that Pestilence. So right now, when he does head back into lane, Optic's going to be feeling a little less scary towards Budweiser.
And we do see Cube is alone in mid, so the pressure is coming in hot. But thanks to that Discordia escape, will be safe for now. But it's a different story in the right for Virtually as he fell really fast. Some crazy damage coming out from Perspective Duck here early on.
Yeah, and with that full Jotuns, it's really going to be paying a whole lot of early damage for this Lancelot. With all the additional cooldown, all the power that you're getting so early, it's really just everything Lancelot really wants. He's able to spam abilities and get it done.
Pillars come down and Virtually goes down as well, just like you were looking for. The invade is coming out onto purple buff, and they've got a kill to go alongside it. Yamoja is the only one to contest, but the purple buff will get stolen. Strong invade and a good kill for Volcanic Lightning, and Slim might be soon to follow, but Yamoja's here just in time to get Cube to back away, and now we've got a red buff invade that's also going to get away of Volcanic Lightning. They're picking up W's at every buff on this map right now.
Definitely, and actively looking for what they can take, how to further their lead is definitely what the doctor ordered for Volcanic Lightning. They're able to just kind of strip the jungle, get out quickly, and with the Ganesh, following Cube all over the map, Cube doesn't have to worry about getting in trouble because this Ganesh will give so much for this Discordia to get out.
A big gank in duo once again, but Remarkable Wolf seems unfazed, just jumping around. He's gonna fall anyway, and with that Perspective Duck finds himself on a killing spree. Over in the mid lane, though, Virtually with a big ultimate down onto Discordia, but couldn't follow up with the stun, and Cube just gets to walk away basically for free. Kakolan doing great damage on Sylvanas. Fights are all across the map, but not really any kills at the moment.
Yeah, not yet, but Optic Blaster is going to have to be a little bit careful as he is a super squishy target going against this Colin, who actually has built protections against the to deal with the Optic Blaster. So he's going to have to be careful what fights he can take and how healthy he is.
Yeah, we were looking for an early pestilence, but I think the bulwark could actually prove really valuable, especially if he finds himself stuck under a tower again, like we saw earlier. That passive could prove to be very, very valuable. Perspective Duck, though, caught Optic Blaster hanging out by the blue buff. He's so low, gonna use ultimate, but doing a lot of damage on Duck, who's gonna fall to the tower. Budweiser for the body block on his buddy just to remind him of how deep he went. But Virtually's here, gonna miss the stun, though. That's gonna be a big mistake, as not gonna be a lot of follow up damage. He steps up to the wave and gets poked out. That wall miss was crucial for Budweiser to be able to get the better of this fight. Virtually pushes up to the wave, relying on his escape, but he's taking a lot of damage. And here comes the tower dive from BudweiserCranker. The pillars follow up, and Budweiser gets the kill onto Virtually, who is punished for playing so aggressive.
Definitely, and just when you thought, it was all done, worse comes worse, and a nice rotation coming up from King of Darkness helps to seal the deal on the Virtually, and a great pickup kill coming from Budweiser right there.
We do see some pings coming out on the Emoja, but I don't know if they're gonna go all in on this. I don't think they have the damage, even with Lancelot there, and yeah, they're gonna think better of it. But possibly sneaking a Pyro. What do you think of this call early on?
I definitely like the pyro. It's really gonna help them, keep the snowball going as we're seeing a 1v1 right now in
Ooh,
duo.
it's getting close. Remarkable Wolf is one basic away, but BlackAirForcess has to land it to get the kill. He's not gonna get it. The Pyromancer goes their way. That was a close call in duo lane. You never want to get soloed, but one auto was too much to ask for.
Definitely, and it's always that last auto that's the hardest to hit, from what it feels like, and you know, Remarkable Wolf getting just away by the skin of his teeth, and luckily that's all there's going to be is for it. But something a little interesting I did want to point out on Remarkable Wolf is he looks like he is building into that transcendence. Oh, actually, a dominance pickup for
Huh.
this Rama.
Kind of both ADCs are going very unique builds this time. I'm not quite sure what to make of it. I mean, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen, but I don't know if it's going to be that effective. We see some pressure coming out in mid. King of Darkness has caught out Killer, but I don't think there's enough follow up there. Budweiser's hanging out to the side. Virtually is up in the air, lands the ultimate this time, and the pillars blocked out his own teammate. Turns around though, throws the apple in, gets good damage. Waves are up. Discordia gets the kill. Discordia gets a double kill. Kakolan gets his own, and we've got a 5v3 in the mid lane at just 12 minutes. Remarkable Wolf into the air, looking for the kill onto Ducks. He's gonna land it on the second shot, gets the kill. Those Rama snipes hit that time, but the Gold Fury is getting looked at.
And what a great call coming off that fight. Really able to keep all those targets in such a small space for that Discordia apple to really do damage, spread out, finding a double kill off the apple just on the ultimate alone. Just a massive pickup for CubeDaFace this early on.
King of Darkness did fall defending that Fury, but as we know, support lives just don't really matter that much. So trading that life for the bigger victory is always huge.
Oh, for sure, definitely. And I just wanted to retouch on that poison star that we've seen Black Air Fortress pick up. I've actually been seeing a resurgence coming through for this poison star shuriken coming back into a lot of these builds, and especially right now going into a comp like the City Boys have, where there's lots of healing across the board with the Optic Blaster on the Sylvanas, Hard Killer on the Emoja, Slim Rebel on the E set. The sky's the limit with the anti-heal, so you may as well apply it as much as you possibly can.
I think that's a good call, and I think Chernabog is a character that can really kind of uniquely get away with that given how he feels to play. So going a team specific item on Chernabog is a pretty good choice overall. We are seeing Perspective Duck once again just kind of free roaming around in the City Boys jungle. I mean, he's heading back now, but he has basically been allowed to hang out there the entire game with no punishments to speak of whatsoever.
And that's just kind of the beauty of Lancelot with how hard he is to take down in a 1v1 scenario. Really can just kind of do whatever he wants with little to no repercussions just because of how much that god can put out damage wise and the sheer mobility and the health shield he can obtain as well.
Optic Blaster is getting pushed out and pushed out more, and that Sylvanas solo, uh, With how pushed out he's been, I'm not sure how much of a factor it's gonna be late game. It's something to keep an eye out for because it could become a big problem for City Boys and their late game damage, as especially with how damage focused he's going early on in his build. The tank items are coming late. He's kinda setting himself up to potentially be borderline useless if he keeps getting pressured out like this.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I was kind of hoping he was going to go towards a warlock staff, maybe second item, so he can still do the damage he's looking for, but still remain more on the tankier side. But opted for the divine. I'm not entirely sure why when still stuck in a lane with the
Ooh,
Cacullen.
there's the Apple Land. It's good for damage. The ESET ult responds though. Wolf's there too. Duck gets a kill on the side, but Wolf picks up the Discordia for trying to bully. Virtually's into the sky looking for the Lancelot who goes into his ultimate. Virtually catches him, but the hammer goes wide. But guess what? The wall does damage now. Virtually gets a kill onto Perspective Duck.
Coming out big with those Thor buffs, virtually manages to get one when it seemed like he was gone, but thanks to the help of that recent Thor buff, virtually is going to be able to seal the deal.
Remarkable Wolf hanging out because he knows his solo laner has made the journey to duo lane, and that's going to result in what's going to end up being a double kill for the Optic Blaster. A really good rotation. He's getting proxy, but who cares? He's got a double kill on Sylvanas.
Yeah, it really finds a good amount of and a good amount of value from that rotation. I think that's what he needs to start doing. He has the damage now. He's working on getting a little bit tankier, but I think now it's less about what he can do in lane and what more he can do in these team fights.
Ooh, we got another sneaky objective. This time it's the City Boys on the Pyromancer. They're going to get it, and quickly. Only Cacullen was there, and there was really not much he could do. Trying to hang around to see if there's anything worth cleaning up, but there isn't. So between a potential tier 1 in the dual lane and a sneaky Pyromancer, City Boys picking up some objectives here at 17 minutes.
Yeah, really excuse me, really trying to do what they can to really bring
Oh,
the
there's
base
the
back.
blink from Virtually onto BudweiserCranker, who's going to have to try to fight in a 1v3, but he's got the rage building up. Is it going to be enough? I don't think so. Virtually's into the sky, but he's getting away for now. Lancelot's here for the assist, but once again, the wall does damage. Virtually, though, is low. Perspective Duck's going to pick up the kill onto him. BlackAirForcess is here. He gets the kill onto OLK. And now Optic Blaster kind of finds himself with only ESET for help. And here comes the pillars that separated the two. ESET finds herself all alone. It's 4v ESET, and she's falling fast. Perspective Ducks gets the kill onto Slim. Great fight from City Boys. They might lose a tier 2, but overall, dominant showing in the right side of the jungle.
Definitely. City Boys kind of felt like they had the domino effect there, where it just kind of was just one after the other, and a great display of getting one pick and keeping the ball rolling from Volcanic Lightning as one fell after the other, and now they're on an Oni Fury, really going to be able to get these lanes pushed out and really get some beefier minions to try and take down some of these towers.
The Oni Fury is going to fall, and just like you said, Volcanic Lightning needed to do early on, they are running away by controlling the jungle, controlling the objectives, controlling everything they can. City Boys have had some good fights, but the feel of this game is decisively going the way of Volcanic Lightning.
Yeah, it definitely feels like the picks that they need to frag out are doing exactly what they need to do, and we're seeing a fire giant pull right now by City Boys, but opt to let that one go.
We do see a fight getting set up. King of Darkness looking for some follow up, and he finds it from Cube, who gets huge damage after the confusion comes out. There's the Apple of Discord. It lands on Yamocha, who's got to walk away now to not spread that damage. Virtually got into the air just to get away, but he's turning around trying to consider if he should go back to try to help out his City Boys as Volcanic Lightning is just running it down and chasing them all the way through the jungle. BlackAirForcess is right behind King of Darkness, who got a good silence, but Remarkable Wolf is here in full health. They're going to turn their attention to the Scorpion, and they're going to get it quickly as City Boys are still trying to look for an opening to really kick off this fight. They can't find it yet, and as they're trying to find it, Yamoja's getting poked out so hard. Discordia damage comes through. OLK's finding themselves down to about 25% health. BudweiserCranker might get caught out. Nope, they're going to go for the blue buff and just secure it as Volcanic Lightning goes their separate ways. Kind of a close call for everybody, but ultimately nothing major happens.
Yeah, nothing too crazy. Nothing was lost, but and nothing was really gained either. So I think both teams are okay with that kind of exchange. They lose the T1 tower in mid on the side of the City Boys. So Volcanic Lightning is still finding at least something out of what appears to be almost nothing of what happened within those that little skirmish around fire.
We have had some time for some gold to come online, some items to come online. We take a quick look at the XP and the gold difference here. And while XP has not been too crazy, gold difference is starting to decisively swing towards Volcanic Lightning, as you could really see from their performance in these last few fights and that map control. But taking a look at the builds, is there anything sticking out to you here at 20 minutes?
Nothing entirely. I think what the Trinibog is building, going that fail not already is gonna pay a lot of a lot of good dues for this Trinibog once he gets hits that full build swing, and he's really gonna be starting to hit hard. Pretty normal stuff coming up from Lancelot as well as Budweiser on Mecha Colin with the Spirit Robe and Glad Shield. So nothing absurdly crazy. And then once again, in terms of relics, everything is pretty normal as well. We do see the Ankh picked up by King of Darkness as well. Really going to be able to try and deal with that healing as much as humanly possible.
Yeah, they came into this game prepared that the healing could be a problem, which is very refreshing. Huh, interesting use of blink there from Perspective Duck. Probably a bit of a misclick, but he did blink about 2 feet, so that is down for what could be potentially a fire giant fight coming up soon as everybody's hanging out in this solo jungle, so that's a pretty big thing to keep an eye on.
Yep, for sure. And yeah, just going towards the fire pit, we're seeing a little bit more of a skirmish, really trying to maybe look for this pyromancer on both sides here.
Yeah, and this Pyromancer could be a very sneakily, uh, momentum swinging fight for this game, as City Boys has kind of been on the back foot for a bit, kind of just keeping up, and Volcanic Lightning has run the jungle. So City Boys need something to swing their way to try to get back a hold of this game and go forward. It could be this Pyromancer fight. Cube got a big pick and a lot of damage came out, but it was on to the E set and the Sylvanas, so nothing too major just yet. Sylvanas looks like he's trying to find a pick. He's going to find it on the BlackAirForcess, but nobody's there to follow up on the damage. And the stun from ESET came up short. Virtually is going into the air, though. He's tired of waiting. We're going to see where he comes down. RemarkableWolf goes in the air as well for the follow-up, and Virtually, BlackAirForcess is getting poked out so fast. Virtually gets the kill. Apple of Discord is, oh, the ricochet off the side of the wall catches Virtually. He's down to below half health. The waves are up, though, causing some separation. Sylvanas ultimate comes out. Perspective Duck is falling low. He's going to have to count on that shield for protection, but RemarkableWolf is right behind him, but he can't find the basics. Has to turn his attention to the Ganesh. Slim picks up a kill. Wolf picks up his own kill, and that's going to be a very free fire giant for City Boys.
Very free as well. Three going down onto the side of Volcanic Lightning, and there's not a whole lot they can really do. There's a lots of great alt execution there, especially coming off of from what I saw, Hard Killer. That Rivers Rebuke really trapping them, really set the pace for all those extra picks that they were able to find. As Remarkable Wolf was actually able to turn and burn King of Darkness, sending him back for giving up his life to save Perspective Duck, as well as picking up an extra Pyromancer as well. So when it rains, it pours, as both objectives falling to the side of the City Boys, and finding big value coming off of that team fight.
Yet Volcanic Lightning has really been in control this whole time until that fight. Just like we were kind of looking to see happen, City Boys now has the momentum in their favor. They were able to get that fire giant. Everybody's going to back and everybody's going to be healthy. I'm curious though, where do you think they're going to group up and run it down? Are they looking for a duo push to try to kind of keep them out of that fire giant side of the jungle as we're so used to seeing, or are they going to push in solo lane maybe and give up the primal fury but look for some pressure on the far side of the map?
I think with both objectives down on the right side of the map, there's not really much of a point for them to be over there. They're gonna probably look to get this Primal Fury, and then build upon that, whether it be pushing down a duo side or pushing down mid. I don't think they're
Oh,
gonna push down right,
that was close.
but very close indeed. But I definitely think that the attention is probably gonna be looking either towards duo or mid.
Oh my god, BlackAirForcess got caught out and got sent to the grave so fast by Wolf. Virtually picks off Perspective, Duck, and all of a sudden Volcanic Lightning find themselves in a 3v5 with the tier 2 falling. It's going to be a Phoenix Siege. They want the big money for this one, and Volcanic Lightning is down some serious damage. Cube is getting poked out very quickly. Slim picks up the kill and erases Cube. BudweiserCranker falls back to the safety of Ganesh, who's finally here, but I don't know how much they're going to be able to defend. And look at that, City Boys is going for an end, potentially a greedy end. We'll have to see. The waves come up, trying to keep Volcanic Lightning away. King of Darkness is getting poked out really fast. BudweiserCranker's got to take on everybody. Titan's down the half, but City Boys are getting poked out quickly. They're not managing the Titan perfectly, but they're going to manage it well enough. City Boys picks up game number 1 against Volcanic Lightning.
Yeah, it was a great display of what they did. They were able to bring it back, and tides turned in their favor. No pun intended there, but City Boys were able to find a great Rivers Rebuke off of Hard Killer to be able to give them some space to be able to hit the Titan while also blocking off Budweiser and King of Darkness. And with that, by the time that they were able to even get to the rest of the squad, they weren't able to find the damage to shut them out, as it was just the two tanks alive and well. And with that, City Boys didn't have much to worry about, as the damage from Remarkable Wolf was just hard shredding come late game.
Yeah, I think we pretty much called everything how we expected to see it go. I think the most important things to note were the Rama was incredibly effective, and even more effective was the team play from City Boys at the end, basically mitigating all the map control that came out from Volcanic Lightning. But with that, we are going to leave you from game number 1, and we're going to see you in picks and bans for game number 2. In game number 1, we thought everything was going the way of Volcanic Lightning, but City Boys at the end pulled together as a team and pulled through for the victory. I'm Anthony. I've got Zexagon with me. Let's get into the picks and bans.
And back at it once again. A little bit of change in the band so far. Right off the get go, we're seeing the Kepri getting taken off, and U-Hauling as well getting taken off early. So both two top picks that neither team wants to see.
We do see the Rama ban come out. So Volcanic Lightning is done dealing with Remarkable Wolf on that Rama because that was just too much last game to handle, as we saw between the kills, the deaths, and the damage.
Definitely, and I almost want to say the damage more so than the kills, because even though I think he went 6-1 last game. He was up there in the kills, but like I think it was more so how much damage he was really able to put out on this Rama, and really just pushing the Volcanic Lightning back. And there wasn't really much they could do about it.
There really, really was not. I the thing that kind of concerned me the most from Volcanic Lightning was the final few team fights. They kind of let themselves just get separated and they got picked off one by one. We saw in the very last fight that everybody turned and ran really quickly, which that itself isn't the problem. The problem is when you do that and you leave your carries behind so they get picked off, and then you find yourself defending your base with no damage to speak of.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you. Looking for a change of pace here, we see the Cupid get locked in from Volcanic Lightning here, so gonna be a little change of pace from the Trinibog.
I like the Cupid pick. I think we were both looking for it potentially against Remarkable Wolf's Brahma last game, just to be able to deal with him. We didn't get it, but I like seeing it now, especially picking it so early because that kind of swings the ADC balance and the control to Volcanic Lightning and puts City Boys on the back foot.
Definitely, and one of the better things that Cupid does excel at is even if you're not killing, you still have the opportunity of taking away the ultimate or taking away the beads just from dropping the ult yourself. Trinibog not really having tons of unless you're fighting, you're not really having tons of ways to be able to take away that ultimate or that beads from the Rama beforehand. Uh, with this Cupid pick should help a little bit with being able to take away some utilities from the enemy ADC.
That is a Ratatasker, and I'm in complete and utter shock. I have not seen a Ratatasker in such a long time. I like the pick because Ratatasker is just always a fun character, but I'm so surprised by it. I'm really curious to hear your thoughts.
Personally like it. Objectively, it's a lot similar to what the Thor did or what Thor does. You have that semi-global, you're able to, hop on the back line, get a big knock up, and kind of just hope your team can follow up from that. He's really good at initiating fights, and I think he's really good at the team fight as well. Diving that back line is going to be one of his strong suits. Whether that goes to jungle or it's a flex for solo, though, is kind of the big question mark right now.
Yeah, it's always hard to predict that with Ratatasker. There's so much versatility there. We do see it just continuing with this flow of characters we have not seen a lot of. We do see the Heimdallr come out as the ADC potentially for Remarkable Wolf. I find that kind of surprising.
Yeah, definitely a different style of ADC versus the Rama he played last game. Heimdall a little bit more of the ability based, more heavy kind of character versus the I'll hold left click and they'll all die. Trust me. Um,
Exactly.
so I'm definitely interested to see how he's going to perform on this Heimdallr. Definitely plays well into Cupid though, being able to uh, being able to have that CC immune dash in when Cupid drops the ult is gonna play some dividends for Remarkable Wolf, and I think it'll work out good into the Cupid.
We do see a King Arthur come out, and I have to say, if that's going to the solo lane like it probably will be, I I really like that pick. I don't want to I don't want to bash it too hard, but I was kind of against the Sylvanas solo, especially with how we saw it play out. So seeing somebody like the King Arthur who can kind of take that control back, that could be huge early for City Boys.
I have to agree with you. And that might make them think twice about what they want to take into solo against the King Arthur. But it looks like Thanatos gets locked in, so I'm already thinking that this is going to be a Radic Tasker solo.
I love watching Thanatos in these leagues. Having a Thanatos when you have full team comms is exciting no matter how poorly it's played or how great it's played. So I'm so excited to see that whenever we do get into game that execute can just be so valuable. And with how tanky City Boys were and how hard of a time Volcanic Lightning had in that defense, come late game, even if the Thanatos somehow gets shut down, late game that Thanatos could put everybody on his back and carry them all the way to a victory.
Yeah, and it's great because even though it serves as a fantastic execute, it doesn't have to be used as an execute. You can use that hovering death to really just get the stun off, still do the damage, but also confirm the scythe after as well. So really just doing that alone will still guarantee you tons of damage output alone coming off the Thanatos.
Yeah, I cannot scream to the heavens how excited I am. We'd see the Circuit come out too. So much different take, much more traditional team comps from both sides, with the exception of the double ADC going the way of Volcanic Lightning. But with that, we're going to leave you here and we're going to meet you in game for game number two. It's game number 2. It's Volcanic Lightning. It's City Boys. There's a Thanatos. There's a Ratatasker. There's a Circuit. There's a Heimdallr. Everything's weird. I'm Anthony. He's Zexagon. Let's do it.
Let's do it indeed. And we also have a Charybdis mid as well.
The good times never stop. We are gonna see a early pause come out here. So with that, we'll be right back. We're back and we're gaming and we didn't miss much. Everybody got their buffs. There was no invades, nothing crazy. But let's talk about where everybody went and let's talk about these starter items.
Yeah, right off the gate, I'm looking right now at Dash Away in solo on this Arthur. I've seen Bluestone quite a bit, really good for the Arthur. I've also seen some solo laners opt for the Warriors axe as well. So interesting to see him go for the traditional Bluestone start.
Ooh, Perspective Duck might have gotten caught out at the totem. He gets taunted, but Budweiser is there with perfect timing. That might just be enough to get Perspective Duck away. He takes some damage around the corner from Dash, but I think he's gonna be safe. Now he's looking for the re-engage onto Virtually to try to steal back that XP camp. He will not hit it, and he'll have to fall back.
Yeah, and that's pretty much all there's going to be to it. He finds the nice taunt onto Perspective Duck, loses a ton of HP, and is just forced to retreat early. And that's pretty much the name of the game. Pretty much heading towards back into the build. So we are seeing Budweiser on the rat go into the lifesteal tree. So looking to see that that's probably an early soul ear going to be going onto this Ratatasker.
I think you may be right. We did see the Fafnir kind of get body blocked by the Cupid, so some interesting comms and choices by the duo lane. We also have a Charybdis mid, which is always exciting to behold. As hold that thought, as Budweiser might be able to pick up a kill here in the solo lane, but he took a bit too much damage from minions. He can't quite commit to it now. He'll have to get out of there before he falls to Dash. And yeah, with the Charybdis mid and the otherwise normal comps, I'm excited to see how that impacts the game.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how this Charybdis mid is going to pan out because I haven't seen it too much. So I'm really interested to see how it's executed, what it's going to bring to the team in terms of that mid 3v3, and pretty much just going off of how it's going to play out. It's kind of the biggest question mark I have this game. So, how it's gonna play in these fights is really gonna depend on how successful Volcanic Lightning is gonna be in this game.
For sure, and we do see a purple buff invade that's going to go the way of City Boys, basically uncontested. So last time Volcanic Lightning, as you pointed out early, were able to use invades to their advantage and take a massive lead early on. But this time City Boys is trying to do it in response to take control of the game their own way. Virtually is trying to hang out looking for some kind of gank, but his dual lane has walked the other way, so yeah, he's gonna go ahead and back. A good call there. Kind of got caught hanging out. Ratatasker did have to ult away in solo lane, so he's gonna be a bit slow getting back. But the teleport's online. It's not the end of the world. But I I kind of wish Virtually hadn't even peeked around for that gank. I almost wish he would have just gone back because he's gonna be a bit behind on the Thanatos now. But it might not be the end of the world.
It might not be. The biggest thing about falling behind this Thanatos, though, is that this Thanatos now has ult, it's like a lot quicker than
Very true.
Virtually is going to be able to really do anything. So, right off the get go, Perspective Duck is going to be looking to make a play with this hovering death and kind of build upon that if he can find an early pick.
Yeah, and a lot of times as the Thanatos, it's really easy to kind of hang out around solo and wait for them to box each other out and take advantage of the low health bar that can come just from boxing. But for now, he's going to kind of wander around and look what he can pick up in the jungle as normal. But I do expect to see him hang out solo. We might see an Oracle fight, but City Boys is going to sniff it out and be able to back off just in time. But they do have a Thanatos and a Fafnir in their jungle looking for the gank, and they don't know it's coming. Here's the hovering death. There's the Fields of Love. Wolf's inside of it, uses the CC immunity, but gets a lot of damage anyway. Silence was no good, though. Gonna be able to get out of there just in time, but he gets out and in to Cube, who gets the Awesome Charybdis ult to get the kill. What great positioning and an even better rotation by Cube.
Definitely, the maw hungers, and it hungers for some Heimdallr as Remarkable Wolf takes a tumble for first blood going to the mid laner. And what a strong start. This is really where you want to be if you're Charybdis. You're naturally starting off a little bit rough. You don't do as much damage as you really like. You're really trying to just make it to that mid late game so you can start popping off. And this is really going to accelerate the process right now for CubeDaFace. And what a good way to cap it off, and 3 assists also going across the board for Volcanic Lightning. So it's gonna give everyone a little bit extra, and it's really gonna try and kickstart this snowball if they can get it rolling.
Yeah, and it's just like you said, that Thanatos needs to get as ahead as possible, and an assist here and there will go a long way, especially if this ends up being one of those games where there isn't as many kills and it's a bit calmer. All the XP that Thanatos can get from assists is going to be massive going forward to finish off items and look for more and more damage to set up that hovering death.
Definitely, and especially now, like leaning towards the soul, and it's gonna be a little bit harder to wait for Dash Away to get low on this Arthur, having that sovereignty already built, so gonna be super tanky, at least in the physical defense department. Gonna be hard to for this rat and this dance or be able to take him down.
Oh my god, the damage perspective Duck just did on the virtually was absolutely crazy, but the ultimate from Budweiser was a little wide. He gets the kill anyway, and now up into hovering death is the Thanatos. Comes down onto Dash, doesn't do too much damage, but everybody's here trying to follow up on this kill. Dash, though, is so tanky, spinning to win right out of there. There is a chase coming from City Boys trying to get him away. It will be enough to make Volcanic Lightning back off, but now they're turning their attentions to the mid lane as they've got King of Darkness here with them. The Emoja portal is enough to get Slim the Rebel out, though, and a close call for City Boys, kind of all around, but it worked out in the end.
Definitely, and that's what I was saying with this sovereignty on Dash Away on this Arthur. It's going to make him infinitely tanky, where even 3 people on him still feels like it isn't enough. Where he's just able to kind of look at it, give a little chuckle, and then just kind of walk away. There's not really much that's really going to make Dash fear for his life. That'll be it.
Yeah, and just like that, OLK is falling low in mid, but the Charybdis ult is gonna go wide and hit Slim, but that does put some big damage on Slim. Fafnir dashes onto OLK, but there's just not enough damage there to pick up the kill, and he'll be able to get away basically for free. And now Serket is showing up to try to finish things off. Over in the soul lane, though, Budweiser got very, very boxed out. He had to back. Virtually did not go for the fight in mid, but King of Darkness wanted the fight anyway. He jumps in on Virtually, gets a lot of damage off. Virtually's falling quick. Thanatos up into the ultimate, but once again, the kill gets picked up before the ultimate is even needed, so he's going to hover on out of there to the red buff.
Yeah, definitely. And another great pickup for Cube. They're really getting Cube ahead as he possibly can on this Charybdis, making it all happen. And the quicker he can get to this late game, especially on an ADC like Charybdis, the harder he's gonna start chunking all of City Boys. And it's really just gonna keep going. Like they've established this nice snowball, and it's really just up to them to just kind of keep it rolling. And they're doing it well
100%.
so far.
110% really. Volcanic Lightning back off to the same strat that you pointed out last game. They're starting to take the jungle. They're starting to take control of it. I thought for a second they might be ganking Wolf, but they really were just trying to secure that jungle up. They got the red, they got the purple, left support buff, but who cares about that one anyway? But yeah, Volcanic Lightning just going for the same approach, and this time it's even more effective.
Definitely. One thing I did actually want to point out towards the build path here, looking at virtually on the circuit, going for a
Ooh,
transcendence.
is Cube gonna get away? We'll come right back to that thought. No, Cube is not gonna get away. Virtually gets the kill onto Cube in the mid lane. Uh, Cube was off to a good start, but maybe got a little bit overzealous and was punished for it. And I think that's gonna be all the fighting for now. So I think we can get back to your point about the transcendence.
Yeah, well, like I was saying, the transcendence early on circuit will do a lot of damage, but it's a very it's a spike that's a little bit pushed aside for now, and until he can really get that stacked up. I really think that early on you want to get get as much of the early penetration from those maces on Serket as you possibly can. But maybe trans is more of a later game investment.
I am gonna have to agree. I would like to see the penetration as well. While you were taking us through that, virtually did pick up another kill. So the transcendence so far, maybe the power is making a small difference, but I do agree that later on, I think that Serket might wish there was some more pen and maybe some more utility even in that build.
Yeah, typically trans being also built for a lot more mana hungry type gods. I don't really feel like she fits the bill there. But if virtually feels like trans is needed for Serket if you're really looking for that extra damage, I think it could help in the long run. But it's up to virtually to utilize it.
BudweiserCranker has just been the victim of that utilization from virtually. He travels over to the soul lane and picks up the kill, and just like that, we're evened up in kills and basically even in gold. And City Boys has brought this game back. Fields of Love to try to protect the Cupid from the incoming Thanatos. Oh, pardon me, the Thanatos was going on Remarkable Wolf. The Cupid was trying to stall and survive. He failed in that and does fall to Wolf, but the kill goes the way of Thanatos at the end. So another big piece of experience going on to that Thanatos early on.
Yeah, definitely, and not bad to even secure that one for one. On the other side of the map, though, City Boy's looking at the Pyromancer, so we'll get stripped away. No big deal.
It is a
Epic kill.
casual early objective.
Oh yeah, just a casual early objective, really making the most out of what they can from that duo gang coming from Perspective Duck, answering back with the Pyromancer. It's a good heads up play. They're really, you know, checking all the marks, getting what they can, and making the best out of a bad situation.
Yeah, and Volcanic Lightning last time had a much better hang on to this game, and the momentum was very much in their way. At the end, we saw City Boys pick it up, and they kind of were able to take it and run away with it. But early on, City Boys was basically a non-factor. This game, City Boys has been there basically from the beginning. They haven't fallen that far behind at really any point. So going forward, I think that could be something major to watch for because City Boys last time showed how well they could fight from behind. This time they're on par.
Yeah, and I think that might just be them getting a little bit more comfortable with each other too. They're starting to trust each other a little bit more, so they're really able to be able to know when to kind of pull back and when to chill. And I think that they're doing that a lot better this game.
We do see a lot of pressure coming out in Soul Lane. BudweiserCranker had to fall back underneath that tower, but now Fafnir's going to get caught in between three members of City Boys. Ratatasker is back. It's only Thanatos, but King of Darkness is so tanky and has that beautiful, long, far jump for those tiny little legs that he will be safe for now. Playing a bit dangerous over there. Ratatasker's teleported back in, and once again, we kind of see what could be the inklings of the start of a fight, but everybody kind of runs into each other, gets a little skittish almost, and backs off.
Yeah, and that's pretty much all there really is to it. Right now, both teams are taking small wins, small losses, but it never feels like oh it's ever a big one. It feels very minimalistic to where one team gets a small win, but another team immediately answers back, which is why there's only about what looks to be like an 800 gold lead, maybe even less than that now, like 400 at this point. With one team gets a kill, the other team gets pyro. It's just kind of it's a teeter totter right now, and it's a game to see which team is going to crack first, and that's kind of what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, 100%. We do see Wolf get caught out behind his tier 1 tower, but Fafnir is going to go the other way and think better of it. Budweiser, though, continues to get constantly poked out by this King Arthur. It's not the greatest matchup in the world for Ratatasker, so it's good he's keeping up, but we're not going to see any shocking solos anytime soon, I don't think. But look at City Boys trying to sneak another objective. Cupid has sniffed it out, though. He's here, and it's still 25% health. Fields of Love comes out. Jump in from Fafnir. City Boys will get the Gold Fury, but at what cost? As Cube just blew up virtually, but now falling quite low as Wolf is right there. Cupid couldn't do anything to stop that damage from his counterpart in the duo lane. The execute's gonna land onto OLK later, and now Dashway's onto Thanatos. Gonna have to use Purification Beads to get out of there. And City Boys got the Fury, but Volcanic Lightning did some good cleanup at the end there.
Yeah, definitely, and a lot of that cleanup is pay tribute to, CubeDaFace. Comes in, gets a really big, the Maw Hunger is coming out, hitting putting, what I believe it was Remarkable, Wolf super low, as well as virtually, just getting absolutely chunked by that ultimate, and, Remarkable Wolf may have, got out to save the day, but, in terms of virtually, not so much, as he, took a dive back to base. They got gold, but they also, were able to at least walk away with a 2 for 1 in that regard, so, yeah, another small win, um, coming out for
Yeah,
Volcanic Lightning.
I think, and you can feel this out whether you play the most casual game or the most serious competitive game. When those objectives go right, but then you instantly lose a bunch of members in the following fight, it feels bad no matter what. Oh no, Perspective Ducks could not get the ultimate off in time and gets absolutely destroyed by Virtually and company. Cubed is looking to get that tower in mid, gonna get it. It's gonna fall. Great job by Cube, but yeah, it just feels bad when you get an objective, you think things are going your way, and then all of a sudden, three members are on gray screen simulator, and you find yourselves alone. Slim is going house, house, house on Cube, and Cube is falling fast, but the Molotovs are finding their way a little bit short. Cube is still alive somehow, but Slim will finally secure the kill after a lot was used. Virtually was there to clean it up anyway. Really well played by Cube. Slim does get the kill, but it was a close one. Ooh, but are they gonna
Yeah.
get caught lazy backing? Fafnir's here, but he has no backup, so they're safe.
Yeah, I definitely like the idea to use the crowd control immunity from the Maw Hungers to try and negate around the home sweet home ultimate coming off of Slim the Rebel, and did dodge a good chunk of it, but also took quite a bit of damage to the point where by the time Slim comes out of that ultimate, he only really needed one auto to pretty much seal the deal. At that point, Cube wasn't really able to do anything else to really keep himself alive.
Yeah, it's been, and that's kind of been the story of this game. I feel like Volcanic Lightning's chances at winning or losing this game are going to come down to Cube, which in the beginning, you and I thought it was going to be maybe the Cupid piloted by BlackAirForcess or maybe even that Thanatos making a big difference late. But really, Cube has kind of been the one holding all of this together for Volcanic Lightning. So it's been a great performance from Cube so far, but the City Boys are just kind of slowly but surely outmatching them at almost every step.
Yeah, definitely. And where this Charybdis is thriving for uh for Volcanic Lightning on the City Boys, I think virtually has found a ton of value coming out of this circuit. As right now, even though she's level 15, so she's one level up on the Thanatos, she has tons of value against Thanatos without needing to build anti-heal with it already having it in her ultimate.
Here's the hovering death into the waves, but Thanatos can't find a target, ends up hitting nobody at all, and he's falling so quickly to the combination of Dash and Wolf. Virtually got pretty low though, ran into the damage of BlackAirForcess. Perspective Ducks will fall to Remarkable Wolf. King of Darkness is pretty low too. They're gonna have to get out of there. Cube is backing safely behind a wall. And it doesn't look like City Boys is ready to give up this chase quite yet. They know how low King of Darkness is. They will think better of it now and turn their eyes to the objectives over in the Fire Giant's den.
Yeah, definitely. And it looks like Pyromancer is the one that's on the menu for right now. Might look towards a fire pretty soon if they can find enough time. But that's really going to be all she wrote right there. I'm not entirely sure if I like that decision by Perspective Duck to not land on anybody. I think you at least got to try and at least find some CC to try and bring your team something to follow up on. I think that's what a big thing they were lacking in that fight was. And then after he opted not to go to land anyone, he just got picked up by Dashaway in that Excalibur's Wrath and pretty much just ate the dirt not too soon after that with a pickup kill by Remarkable Wolf.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like it's basically every character that has a either global or a semi-global ultimate. If you're going to commit to go up into the ultimate, even if you aren't in the best position, you kind of have to commit and land on somebody, especially if you're going to choose to land maybe 5 units over and hit nothing when you could have just landed on them anyway and at least gotten a stun or maybe gotten the purification beads off of Wolf, who still had them up by the end of that fight. It's really tough to make that decision mid-second, but that is the difference between somebody playing jungle and a jungler in my mind.
Yeah, and it's really you never wanna have to use an ultimate like Thanatos's where it feels like you're throwing it away because it's such a big ult to kind of throw on cooldown for nothing.
Oh, man. OLK just got absolutely obliterated by the damage of the level 18 Charybdis at just level 12. That was something to behold.
Definitely, and she hits hard with that executioner and the kin size also, and, on top of that, we're seeing, Gold Fury being looked at by Volcanic Lightning.
Yeah, and Primal Fury is dropping quick. That double ADC comp is putting in the work. Volcanic Lightning secures the Fury. Thanatos hovering death, looking for Virtually in the mid lane, who doesn't know it's coming. The stun lands, but Virtually has a lot of damage in response. Gonna get blown up by BlackAirForcess, but Perspective Duck will fall for the kind of greedy play to go in on the Circuit alone, who is a much higher level. Cube, though, might be caught out by Dash, going to have to get into that immunity to get away. And we're going to have a tier 1 tower defense that falls because Wolf walked around the back and gets the huge kill onto Cube. I mean, Cube's gone, and that's the majority of the damage for Volcanic Lightning. It's up to Fafnir and Cupid to defend this tower because Ratatasker is still on the way, coming all the way from Yggdrasil, I suppose. So now the tier 2 tower is being sieged. King of Darkness is too low to do anything to help out BlackAirForcess. He's trying to get some damage off onto Arthur as Budweiser just now got to the back line but couldn't do any remarkable damage onto Slim, the Rebel. And really, that was just a bad positioning play by Ratatasker, and Volcanic Lightning just couldn't pull anything through.
Yeah, they definitely were able to take advantage of the rat just not being there, and were able to just completely run it down, and by the time the rat even showed up, the fight was basically already over. They had already gotten that T2 tower in mid lane to, the point where, you know, Budweiser is now here, but what's next? There's nothing left, you know? The people that do the damage, like CubeDaFace, was already dead. There's gonna be no follow-up from your big damage dealers to really warrant anything else, especially with Perspective Duck also falling just before that fight broke out to Virtually's last breath ultimate.
Yeah, and I think we're coming up on what could be the difference maker for this game. It kind of has it has the same feel as last game when City Boys had that fight that completely swung the momentum. It has the feel that the next fight could potentially be the last because City Boys did not wait to end the game. There was actually more up on the map last time than this time, so if things go their way, they may run it down. But Dash is getting just completely erased in the soul lane. He kind of got caught out and Volcanic Lightning made him pay. And now we're going to get a big grouping at Fire. Heimdallr is in the duo lane, so it's going to be advantage going the way of Volcanic Lightning, and Heimdallr is just going to have to commit to this push at this point. OLK is the target. Budweiser dashes in, but gets the stun and kind of backs away and thinks better of it. The frenzy's popped. They're going to try to burn down this fire giant. Budweiser's going to turn his attention. Thanatos is playing distraction. Here's the hovering death. Here's the trees. Who are they going to go on? They're going to come down on top of OLK, who takes a lot of damage. City Boys, though, gets the Fire Giant after all the delaying and the work that came in from Volcanic Lightning. It is stolen away, and now we've got ourselves a brawl. RemarkableWolf, though, is here and full health. BlackAirForcess has a double kill, but Cube is falling fast. Wolf, though, lost too much health to contest all 4 members. Unless this is played perfect, I think Volcanic Lightning is going to get away safely. They're going to head over to the solo lane. They've got both members of City Boys in tow. Here's the blink, going right for that Cupid. Finds the kill. Does RemarkableWolf, but he's going to fall as the damage was a bit too much and and Black Air Force is going to pick up the kill onto Remarkable Wolf. We're still not done fighting. I will not get to breathe quite yet. Arthur is spinning to win on top of the Cupid, on top of King of Darkness. OLK is right behind him. Budweiser's trying to lead them away, but he's leading them to Cupid. Cupid gets some good damage on Dash, and that will finally be enough to put an end to this fight. That was crazy.
Yeah, it was a lot of kind of pick and choose. It was a big fight right at the get go. There's a massive Fields of Love ultimate coming straight off of Black Air Fortress that found tons of value, got tons of damage off. Unfortunately, CubeDaFace wasn't able to be able to live through that fight from a nice blink coming off of Remarkable Wolf. But then after that, they were able to get the quick revenge kill on him, which, really kind of brings the question, was the Blinken worth it? If, you grab the kill, but then you lose your life immediately after, especially when there's another ADC already still on the playing field, you're kind of sacrificing yourself, even though they have one more to boot.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. And if there was going to be a blink and an aggressive play, it probably should have been when the four remaining members of City Boys, or the three, were right next to the blue buff, and the two members of Volcanic Lightning were on the other side of the wall. That might have been a better spot to blink because you could have used the coverage of that wall. But blinking in an open lane in a 2v4 is just almost never the best decision you can make.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. Definitely a lot of risk, and at that point, very little reward coming from the side of City Boys. But hopefully it can all work out for them. Volcanic Lightning are looking at this Oni Fury right here, but City Boys are aware of what's going down.
Everybody's grouping up on the Oni Fury. It looks like this might be another momentum shifting fight. Everybody's kind of tiptoeing around, but Thanatos has run into some company on the side in the form of Virtually. Neither takes a lot of damage, but everybody's here. it- they're really trying to pick their moment, but I think at some point somebody's got to go in. You do have the Fire Giant, but it's only on Yamoja, so not a lot of advantage for City Boys here. And there's not even really a relic advantage either. If any, it's slightly leaning the way towards the Volcanic Lightning, but it's not a lot.
Yeah, definitely not. And lots of helpful relics still up. Hard Killer having both relics, sprint and the meditation, so we'll be able to keep his team healed up for the fight if they do choose to back up and then re-engage. Then on the side of Volcanic Lightning, you have the Shell and Frenzy being held on by King of Darkness right now. So
Here's the waves. Thanatos was stuck in them, took a lot of damage. Ratatasker, though, landing down onto Dash, who died very quickly, stuck in the fields of love. And we have a 5v4. Perspective Ducks is very low. Frenzy popped to secure this Oni Fury, BudweiserCranker's trying to delay it, and City Boys, once again, gets the steal. No matter what Volcanic Lightning does, they cannot secure these objectives late in the game. City Boys, though, falling quickly. Wolf is getting lit up. OLK does find a kill in King of Darkness, but Cube returns the favor and then picks up a double kill, taking out Virtually as well. Slim is falling fast. Charybdis has her inner sights, chasing down the Baba Yaga. Perspective Duck picks up the kill onto Remarkable Wolf all the way by the Phoenix. Slim is gonna fall. It's a deicide for Volcanic Lightning.
yeah, and Volcanic Lightning played that just as well as they possibly could after losing the Gold Fury to City Boys. That's kind of the risk you kind of run with this double ADC comp is you're kind of you have the shred, but you are lacking the confirm, and that's kind of what we saw in that Gold Fury pull. Luckily for them, though, City Boys had just invested way too much, and they were able to just kind of clean them all up. And at that point, the Gold Fury steal is nice, it adds something, but you just straight up lose the entire engagement if you all die.
Yeah, and I think City Boys kind of was figuring out towards the end of the dance we saw by the Oni Fury that they might have been playing with fire. But by the time they were trying to back up, the commitment was there from Volcanic Lightning. And then once that steal came through on the Oni Fury, I think it was almost a bit late to commit to the fight, but City Boys went with it to try to pick up from getting the steal. But unlike a Fire Giant, getting that steal on the Oni Fury didn't really prove beneficial, so they kind of just let themselves out to dry.
Yeah, and that's that's just kind of the L you kinda have to hold, right? You never really wanna it kind of is what it is. Um, and at that point, you kinda just have to, try and group up and try and shape yourself for the next one.
Oh,
Volcanic Lightning.
perspective duck, what are you doing? He just got picked off behind the fire giant wall. Volcanic Lightning gets the Pyromancer, but what is it going to cost them? Remarkable Wolf did a lot of damage, but gets picked up by BlackAirForcess. Ratatasker in the sky, going through the trees. Who's he going to land on? Gonna try to land and save Charybdis. Double kill. Virtually shuts down Black Air Forces. This fight's going the way of City Boys all of a sudden. They are completely in control of this one. King of Darkness is trying to get Budweiser out of there, but they're so tanky, they're lacking damage, and City Boys has plenty to go around. They don't even want the tier 2. They're chasing this as far as they have to. They get the kill on a King of Darkness, then turn their attentions to the tier 2. Budweiser's going to back to try to get healthy. He may have to defend it all here.
Definitely. The City Boys with a fantastic turn of the tables. Right after that Fields of Love Ultimate was dropped by Black Air Fortress, it looked like it was looking pretty bleak for City Boys. But after that, they were able to just find the right targets. The damage was right. The pick off Perspective Duck so early was just completely brutal coming from Volcanic Lightning. And that just kind of gave them what they needed to be able to seal the deal on that fight and then look towards this fire giant, which is now enhanced.
Yeah, so with the EFG at 31 minutes, I'm looking for City Boys to back in full group and commit to run it down, but Thanatos is trying to stop it. Picks up the kill onto Virtually. That's a gigantic loss for City Boys. He's gonna blink, trying to get more, but it was OLK, and Remarkable Wolf was standing there waiting. And now Perspective Duck might have overplayed his sneaky hand. The ultimate for the dash from Wolf, Perspective Duck, has fallen, and just when there was an advantage, it's thrown away by Volcanic Lightning.
Yeah, definitely did what he needed to do, got the first pick, but blinked in further deep after and was feeling just a little bit of himself too much. Think you really need to pull away after getting that first kill on the virtually and just call it a day.
Yeah. It that the last 2 fights have been so evenly split. It feels like while City Boys had the advantage at one point, it feels like there's a moment in a fight where Volcanic Lightning has the advantage. And City Boy gets the Fire Giant, and Volcanic Lightning is right there with Perspective Duck ready to pick up a kill, but then Perspective Duck overplays it, goes too far in, gets picked up. These 2 teams are so evenly matched. It's kind of insane.
Yeah, and it's really they're both teams that are good at capitalizing off of the other team's mistakes. But the thing is that the mistakes are never so big that it's gonna massively shift the game. Yet, at least from what we've seen. They're really good at one will overextend and then they'll be able to capitalize and get a few more picks onto the other team and then they'll just be kind of it. We'll see a fire giant pick or we'll see a gold fury drop every once in a while. But until we really start to get into these sieging opportunities, that's when we're really going to see how these teams can fully capitalize off of the mistakes of the opposite team.
Yeah, it's going to take some commitment for one team to end this game. We do see a Trebuchet pushing mid, and we see a Trebuchet ready to go over in the left lane. So it's really going to be a toss up on what gets pushed and where. Trebuchet's already fallen in mid. There was no attempt for Volcanic Lightning to push that out. It looks like they're going to prepare for a siege, and they're expecting it. The only member without Fire Giant for City Boys is Virtually, so they might have a really good chance to defend this.
Yeah, definitely is a good chance of defending here. They do have a pretty solid base defense with this with that Cupid ultimate, so gonna make them be a little bit wary of when they want to push in. They're gonna have to try and bait the ult before they can really look for anything else. Um, Pushing down lanes as well, what they're gonna do, but something I'm a little bit interested in seeing is Remarkable Wolf actually sold his starter for an Atalanta's bow.
Yeah, I think I've seen this a couple of times. I do like it, but I'm not super into the build overall for Remarkable Wolf. It's working. He's doing a lot of damage, but it's just not my favorite build. I I think the Atalantis was to maybe pick up some movement speed, get some extra attack speed, because it's the only thing he's sort of lacking by going that devs route. But yeah, it could be an interesting item for this next fight here, having that extra movement speed. But with that, at the tier 2, we're grouped up. OLK might have gotten caught out, but he's going to be able to get away. Tier 2 falls. King of Darkness lagging behind. He needs to step on it before he gets picked up. He will get to the safety of the Phoenix, and we've got a Phoenix Siege coming up. Everybody's trying to figure out where they're going to go, what they want to push. They have two options. They have the left side with the Trebuchet, or they can split and take the mid Phoenix while the Trebuchet pushes. Volcanic Lightning has fallen back, trying to figure out how they're going to defend this. They do have their ultimates, though, so they have a lot going for them. Perspective Duck hanging around the side, going to look for an opportunity to go into Hovering Death, but virtually sniffed it out. He's heading over there to fight, and Cube is falling fast. Remarkable Wolf almost was able to get the kill onto Cube, who has to fall back. Here come the waves for the Phoenix Siege. Hovering Death has been launched. He's going to land down into the Fields of Love. And BudweiserCranker gets the kill onto Wolf. Perspective Duck gets the kill onto Slim. The Phoenix has fallen, but City Boys are still kicking. Virtually, though, walked away into the mid lane, but that has kept him very healthy for this fight. And he's going to get a kill onto BlackAirForcess. He's going to get the ult off onto Budweiser. Perspective Duck gets the kill, but virtually gets the poison off, and the kill turns into a double kill for virtually. And once again, we've seen it. Both teams capitalized on each other's mistakes, and because of that, there's no clear winner yet.
Definitely, no one's really able to get into that Titan room to be able to drop it just yet. Just enough kills coming off the side of Volcanic Lightning to be able to stalemate that siege, and they're looking towards this pulling the Fire Giant pretty early. But a very nice play coming up from Virtually being able to stop the siege, getting a very nice double kill onto Budweiser, and then also on the Black Air Fortress.
Yeah, that was gigantic. Here we see going double ADC proved to be very valuable because they got rid of that Fire Giant so quick. With their traditional mage, I don't know if they're going to be able to get that done as quickly. Volcanic Lightning also picks up the Pyromancer on their way out. They've got to back to defend that left lane because their Phoenix did stall, so for them to push that out.
Yeah, definitely. Gonna have to really focus on getting that left wave pushed out. And then they're gonna have to and then it's completely up to City Boys what they want to do from here, whether they wanna, try and maybe siege again going for the mid or right side, or if they wanna kind of stall it out, try and wait for that EFG to get off of Volcanic Lightning for them to try again, because trying to siege while the other team does have that enhanced fire giant buff can be a task of its own.
This is not League of Legends. The teams do not have the perspective we have. But if I'm City Boys, last fight, when they were going for the siege onto Phoenix, Perspective Duck hung out on the side for a very long time, waiting for an opportunity to use Hovering Death. If you can catch that out again, if you can catch Perspective Duck on the outskirts and catch him off and get rid of him, all of a sudden the advantage swings your way. Virtually's falling low. Will he fall? He's going to get the jump onto Perspective. He turned things around and got the poison off. Dash gets the kill onto Duck. And just like I said, Duck gets picked off, and that could be a game changer. Phoenix Siege, this time it's on the City Boys. Wolf, though, absolutely lighting up BudweiserCranker. He's got to get out of there quick. Almost fell. King of Darkness is low, and now City Boys begins the chase. This is just like we saw last game. The wave is going to cut off Cube, who's going to fall. Now King of Darkness might fall. Can Budweiser get the back off? Budweiser did get the back off, but everybody else is probably going to die. BlackAirForcess is down to a little above 25%. There's no way he gets out of this. He won't. Baba Yaga absolutely one-shots him at that health. And now it's up to Fafnir around the side and Ratatasker at home base to defend.
Yep, and with that, potions galore coming out from some of the rebel being able to take out Black Air Fortress. No chance being able to get away from that, and a very uh a very good chance trying to get to their duo side Phoenix, not able to
Are they
get
going
it
for the
done.
end? They're going for the end. Ratatasker's up into the sky, but the Titan is falling really fast. Hovering Death soon to follow. Will it be enough, though? He gets the stun onto two, but no execute to speak of. The Frenzy gets popped. RemarkableWolf, though, is still standing. Gets the kill onto BudweiserCranker. Soon will be a kill onto King of Darkness. There's no way he gets out of it. Double kill for Wolf. It's just the Thanatos to defend. But Cube is here. Here comes the Charybdis ultimate, but Perspective Duck is falling so fast. Charybdis falling even faster. Triple kill for Remarkable Wolf. Thanatos still standing. Dash is going to pick him up, stealing the Quadra, but the victory goes to City Boys once again, turning a fight on its head and running it down for the victory.
That's it, and that's what we were looking for. Which team will crack first? Which team will make the bigger mistake? And we pretty much just saw it right there. As Volcanic Lightning tried to, they got the EFG. They had a successful defense, but I think they bit off more than they could chew, trying to go for the run back siege back onto City Boys' duo side Phoenix. And with that, they were able to just out team fight them. They all dropped like flies, and next thing you know, they're just able to run it back down that same lane, end the game like that, and then they were just able to pick off the rest of Volcanic Lightning one by one. And with that, Titan fell pretty quickly, and there wasn't a whole lot to say about it on the side of Volcanic Lightning.
I think you described everything perfectly. Another standout performance for Remarkable Wolf. Look for them to really lean on him as the season goes forward because there was so much damage coming out there at the end. But with that, we are going to leave you here as City Boys picks up a set versus Volcanic Lightning. I've been Anthony. He's been Zexagon. We had Nublet on production, and we'll see you next time on the Smite Draft League.